That's the only downside. What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we're going to have a quick look at NVIDIA RTX Voice, which is their kind of voice cancellation software that's been out for a little bit now. It's only out in beta, but I've got a GTX or an RTX, obviously 2060. I have the drivers up to date, so I do qualify for it. I just completely forgot that it existed when it came out. But that's basically it. I'm just going to kind of do some real world testing. My window is open because it's like 20 something degrees at the moment in Ireland. It's kind of cloudy and overcast, but it's really hot. And as such, I have the window open, which would usually mean that I can't record videos, I can't live stream because the noise of the road and the kids on the street, like my neighbors and all that kind of tend to gather underneath my window directly, like to talk to my parents and stuff. So yeah, basically I thought I'd try that out and see how well that works. Will it pick up other people's voices is a question that I have. There's nobody down there right now. But just general street noise. That's a car going past, so I don't know if it picked that up. I also have the wheel set up here. It's not plugged in, so I can freely spin it and see if it picks up that background noise and stuff like controlled sticks and just kind of other tests, clapping and that kind of thing. Just trying a few different things to see how it works. So the setup is super easy. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this page here. It's essentially just you click download the app, install it, configure RTX voice fader in the program itself. As simple as clicking your input device, which is obviously going to be your microphone, checking the box, your output device, which is obviously going to be your speakers or your interface or whatever that, if you have one of those, and checking the box if you want to remove background noise from incoming audio. So if you don't want to hear that guy's newest mixtape on Call of Duty, or the 12-year-olds calling your kids, or the 12-year-olds like having their baby friend brothers and sisters and that kind of thing screaming in the background in multiplayer lobbies, I think that's the feature that's supposed to work with. So basically that's that. It's a really easy install, and then there's obviously the full instructions for which program you use here to configure it in the program. But that's about it. With that said, let's have the first kind of initial test, which we seen right at the beginning there. I clapped and it didn't pick it up, which is mental to me. The wind is like, oh, again, the window's open. Oh, I should turn on the light actually. Yeah, so this was kind of like a last minute impromptu thing, so I didn't set up as kind of professionally, or whatever you want to call it, as I usually would. So yeah, as we seen at the beginning, it didn't pick up on the clap. So let's try it again. Oh, I need to scroll down. So it's picking up something. Didn't pick that one up. Yeah, super interesting. It doesn't seem to be picking up, which is crazy. What else did I want to do? Oh yeah, I should mention as well. In Streamlabs OBS that I'm using to record this now, I've got a compressor on. I usually have a noise filter that kind of basically does the same effect, just not nearly as good from what I can see is the potential of this. And yeah, compressor and noise effect, or noise cancellation, basically noise removal. So yeah, there's no other nothing. I have nothing else applied. Basically, just the compressor to pick up my voice and make it a bit kind of louder. That's about it. So that's the clap test. Didn't seem to pick it up, which is pretty crazy. I obviously won't be able to tell until I watch the video back. But next up is a real world kind of practical examination. This is something that I run into quite a bit when I'm recording, say, like in a set of course a VR video, and I'm doing a lap of the Nürburgring and I'm just kind of focusing on getting through the corners. You can hear this wheel basically just turning, which you shouldn't be able to. And also when I'm changing gears. So if I just changing gears because they have a click, they have like a little kind of clunkiness, like a heavy sound to them. And yeah, so it does seem to pick something up when I do it full speed. Yeah, but again, that's never going to happen in the game. I'm never, because this is powered off right now. Like I'm over exaggerating me throwing it. It's never actually going to be thrown that hard. So for the sake of like Forza, kind of gently guiding it in, or Forza, like drifting or whatever, Forza drifting or Assetto Corsa. Yeah, the kind of standard stuff that you use it for, I'm not seeing it pick up any of this. Even as I'm spinning it right now, in theory, it should be cancelling that out, which is mind blowing to me. But yeah, so that's that practical kind of thing. We'll see how that pans out. Hopefully it goes well. And I think I should be able to watch it back. Yeah, I should be able to record my screen of me watching it back and giving my live reaction to how it performs. So, next up, the window's been open, a car has driven by. I don't think there's been any other noise, so that the window is kind of just something I'll have to, if it's working with these, I'll have to presume it's going to work with the window. Let's just say, for example, I'm playing like Session or something like that, or as I've been doing lately over the last kind of like day or so, I'm playing Modern Warfare with controller because it pairs you up against other controller users, and playing shooter games with a controller gives me serious nostalgia vibes. Yes, it's not the best way to do it. I wouldn't do it if I was actually aiming to have a good game, but in Modern Warfare, the PC at least, it actually matches you up. If you select to go by controller, it'll match you up with other controller users only, so you don't so you don't come up against people that are using the keyboard and mouse, which is deadly. So yeah, basically, if I happen to be playing like this with my arms rested down, the mic here, so I can be picked up on stream or whatever. So I'm kind of like exaggeratingly moving the sticks around, like you never would in real life. But if you had to do it for some reason, would it pick it up? I don't know, but hopefully not. So pressing the buttons, kind of super intensely, like every character in anything ever that's ever featured a video game. Like, as if that was ever a way anybody has ever played a video game. Like, but yeah, that's that practical example. Like, I'm trying to think, like, background noise, my guitar, maybe. Don't worry, I'm not going to break out a version of Wonderwall. I'm just going to strum a chord and see if it picks up on that, or if I can talk while strumming a chord. So it picked up It picked up something there. So it's interesting. It does seem to pick up the guitar in some way. Yeah, so it's picking up the guitar. So I'm not sure what way the algorithm works as far as that. Let's see how much it picks it up while I'm talking. So I'm just gonna talk and just play random chords. And apparently you should be able to just hear me, but I don't know. Subscribe, follow me on Twitch. I don't know. At 137 works. Like the video. Right, so that's that test. See how that goes. I guess that's probably it. That's about that. Yeah, I can't think of other serious real world case uses. I've got like a can of beer there that try to crack like something that you might want to not bother people with if you're in a Discord chat or something like that. Cracking your beer every time you open one. But I'm obviously not going to crack that right now. It's not quite that time of the Saturday night just yet. That might be it. Yeah, so that's basically it. I'm going to switch over now to actually listening, watching the video back and having a listen and seeing how it works. And we shall see how it performs. So, yeah, that's about it. On to the next bit. Right, so just to make sure that I show that it's full volume, nothing's messing with, 100% there. What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today I'm having a look at NVIDIA RTX. So right off the bat, the opening clap that I do to make sure everything starts in sync worked. It didn't pick up that clap straight off the bat, so that's a good start. I'm just going to basically skip through the different bits and see. Right, so this was unintentional, but when I went away, I probably cut it out I'm probably going to cut it out in the edit. But when I went away to turn on my light, it did pick me up whistling in the background, which is interesting. Yeah, so you might have faintly heard it there. So it's picking up something. Didn't pick that one up. Yeah, super interesting. It's not saying it does. Interesting. So it's notifying me in the audio mixer in Streamlabs here that something's being picked up, but I didn't hear anything there in any way. I'll try it again. So let's try it again. It did, yeah. So it did pick up a little something right on that one. Scroll down. So it's picking up something. There's also a little bit of a glitch right when I start speaking there. I don't know if that's a common thing. So again, I should also point out it is in beta stage, so it's not a fully released. It's not fully released or fully finished in any way. So let's see. This should be the wheel bits. Yeah. So it's not picking up any of the pedals there or paddles. Turning, which you shouldn't be able to. Now, obviously using NVIDIA RTX voice, and also when I'm changing gears. So if I just So it is picking up the gear. It picked up the gear on the closest to the mic side, which was interesting, but not on the far side. Very impressive off the bat, anyway. Exaggeratingly moving the sticks around, like you never would in real life, but if you had to do it for some reason. I can faintly hear them in the background, but I don't think it'd be anywhere near as bad as it would be if I was not using anything. If it was just being picked up by the microphone without any kind of filters or noise suppression or anything like that, I think it'd be a lot louder, a lot clearer. You could hear exactly what was happening. So that little tiny faint fit in the back, actually shockingly impressive, like for how good that is. Also, while I'm doing this rewatch of it, again, I'm hearing cars and kind of dogs barking and stuff like that in the background. I don't think it's picking that up. I wouldn't imagine it's picking that up based on what I'm seeing here. I don't know. But hopefully. So there's a load of noise out in the street right now, and I don't think it's picking it up. Yeah, so like my neighbors are talking out there. I didn't see any volume change or anything like that. So very impressive. So what I talked about them being right under the window, I think my next door neighbor's talking to my mom outside the window. Can't hear anything. Unbelievable software. See, now it might have picked that up because that's a person's voice. It's not trained to my voice. It doesn't do any kind of voice training when you first set it up or anything like that. So that's the thing to know. Basically, it's not muting itself or whatever just because you're not talking. So if somebody else walks in the room and says something that they shouldn't, for example, it'll probably pick that up. Just keep that in mind. Like everyone knows. Right, so that's that. Oh, the guitar is a big test now. I'm very curious about the guitar. So it picked up something there. That's honestly shockingly good how little is being picked up. For me, like properly, I'm not quietly picking them, I'm probably just strumming a couple of chords, like to pick up just a little bit of them. It sounds like the pick going across the strings, and like I can hear like one string of the guitar. So it's interesting. It does seem to pick up the guitar in some way. Yeah, so it's picking up the guitar. It's picking up like one string. It's picking up. I think it's picking up the top string, if I was not mistaken by that tone. I'm not sure. On the third fret, I was playing a G chord. You should be able to just hear me, but I don't know. Yeah, so again, not perfect. You can still hear the guitar. You can hear the clicky clacky of the strings hitting it, or the pick hitting the strings. And my voice does go a little kind of almost robot-y. But compared to if I was actually fully strumming away on the guitar, very impressive. Like really, really impressive. And again, only in beta, can only be improved. Maybe it does have it because it uses AI and like that kind of learning thing. Very red. Very red. Just noticed. Why so red on the face? Oh, that's not better. Okay, just you're gonna have to do it with red face. Yeah, maybe it does use like artificial what's it called, like machine learning or something like that. Maybe it'll pick up on my voice over time the more that I use it. Kind of a scary thought, admittedly, but it's probably no different to any kind of like voice activated Alexa or Siri, something like that, where it trains to learn your voice. Or maybe that'll be an option that they give you at least in the future. I'd rather honestly if it's an option that you can opt in and out of, where it picks up your exact voice, your exact range, exactly where you kind of go higher and where you kind of go lower, like, and it can and work better to compress what is important in those kind of frequencies or whatever. But yeah, just overall, shockingly impressed. Like that's really, really good to be strumming. Follow me on Twitch. You know, just throwing that in there. At 137 works. Like the video. You can still clearly hear what I'm saying over the fact that I'm fully strumming the guitar, like, which is mad. Again, you probably still would, but the guitar would be a lot louder, a lot clearer, like it'll making a lot more, a lot less sense rather of my voice. Very, very impressed. Right, so that's that. So that is that. That's that for that video. So yeah, that's about it. If you have an RTX card, I can't speak highly enough of this feature. This is insane. I can't believe I've put it off for so long. Like it's a game changer for streaming in particular, like or recording videos, especially like if you live in a place with a hot climate and you have to have windows open, like it tends to be in Ireland in the summer. Like I literally didn't stream. I streamed those 2 days in a row a couple of days ago. Then I didn't stream the third day because it was just too hot. It was like 23, 24 degrees, which for Ireland is lunacy like. And I couldn't close the window because the PC's pumping out heat, the screens are pumping out heat. I have the light on over there, which is putting out a little bit of heat. And just having that window over there like for 3 or 4 hours, I'd just be dead basically having it closed. So yeah, to have that option now at least is absolutely fantastic. So 100% check the link in the description below. Again, not sponsored or anything like that. Like I paid for my graphics card. Like it's a free download. But just keep in mind that it is a beta. You do have to have the latest NVIDIA drivers and you have to have an RTX card, so 2060 or higher. If it's got RTX, you can do it. I'm not going to waste time. So that's about it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching and goodbye. I whacked my hand off my desk as I put it down there, but it shouldn't have picked it up.